When it comes to Orlando, the one question I get asked the most often is, which resort is best for me and my family with our kids, and you can fill in the blank with whatever age is here. And although I might throw out a few alternatives, at the top of the list is usually the Marriott Vacation Club Harbour Lake and the Marriott Vacation Club Cypress Harbour. It just so happens that these two resorts are right across the street from one another, and I believe this little corner of the world represents a couple of the best family options in Orlando. In this video, I'm going to help you decide which one of these properties works better for you and your family. And I'm also going to get into a point of irony with one of the resorts, which I believe isn't a deal breaker, but does hold the property back from being the best that it could be. Let's start with buildings, lobby, Circle Drive, and first impressions. We'll start with the Harbour Lake. The Harbour Lake doesn't have a traditional Circle Drive, but this isn't an issue since there is a parking lot near the lobby and spaces dedicated to arriving guests. Parking here is not abundant, but it is adequate, so you shouldn't have to worry about finding parking even with a late evening arrival or a late return to the resort. The lobby at the Harbour Lake is brightly colored and has a welcoming vibe. And overall, the property has a brightly colored decor throughout and is well manicured. The Harbour Lake was built in 2000, and the buildings have the feel of more recent construction. The Cypress Harbour, on the other hand, was built in 1990 and does feel a little bit more old school. However, the property is still well manicured and has a nice decor. The Cypress Harbour has a large Circle Drive and a decent lobby. Parking here too isn't a problem, and you should be able to find space near your villa. As the senior of the two resorts, the Cypress Harbour feels more like a neighborhood. It's more spread out in comparison and is still beautiful in its own right. But if I had to give a nod for first impression, I'd give it to the bright colors of the Harbour Lake. There's just something about it that immediately lets you know that you're in a resort. Next, let's talk about accommodations. We'll start with the Marriott Harbour Lake. The Harbour Lake offers a variety of different sized accommodations, including studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom options. However, the majority of units are 2 bedrooms, which come with fully equipped kitchens, a neat little booth dining area, a living room, balcony, and a master with king-size bed. The 2nd bedroom has 2 queen-size beds, which is also nice. The bathrooms are pretty family resort standard with decent compartmentalization. I personally like it when the bathroom is broken up in a way in which multiple family members can use it at the same time, for those times when you're in a rush. And neither of these resorts is particularly great about that. So let's move on to the Marriott Cypress Harbour. All of the units at the Marriott Cypress Harbour are 2 bedrooms. Again, we're looking at fully equipped kitchens, dining area, living room, master bedroom with king bed. However, the 2nd bedroom is smaller and comes with a single queen. But there's a love seat which is also a pullout and can be used for a 2nd bed. In addition, the balconies at the Cypress Harbour are really nice, but they extend off of the building, and as a result, it can have a bit of the fishbowl effect with a lack of privacy, where you can easily see and be seen by your neighbors. Still, both properties are great options for families, but if I had to give a nod, I'd once again give it to the Harbour Lake, with the 2nd bedroom being the differentiator. Next, let's talk about the pools. This time we'll start with the Cypress Harbour. The Cypress Harbour has 3 pools, the first of which is what I would consider the main pool, which is the clubhouse pool. This pool is right behind the lobby and is accompanied by the Pavilion Bar and Grill. It's a prototypical resort pool and can get pretty busy. Fortunately, across the bridge is another fairly large resort-style pool, which is the Sauna Island pool. This pool can also be decently populated, but generally, it's easier to find seating here. However, it is away from most of the resort's festivities, which generally take place at the clubhouse pool. And lastly, there's the Bayside pool. The Bayside pool is smaller and generally quieter. If you're looking for a quiet place to take a dip, no guarantees, but this is your best bet. The Harbour Lake, on the other hand, has 2 pools. the first of which being the shipwreck landing pool. This pool has a large shallow side that has a pirate ship play area which is equipped with several small water slides. It's absolutely great for smaller kids. On the other side, there's a bit more of your standard pool area, but make no mistakes about it, overall, there's just lots of kids. Here, there's also resort activities, and the pool is accompanied by the patio bar and grill. This pool can get crowded, and sometimes seating can be challenging. Across the way is the Florida Falls pool. The Florida Falls pool has a big water slide on one side and is flanked by the Florida Falls splash pad, which is pretty big on the other. It's also accompanied by the Outpost, which is a small bar and snack stand. This pool is not quite as busy, but overall, the pools at this resort are just popular, and pool chairs can be hard to find at peak times. Still, if you have kids under 12, there's going to be some part of the pools that work for you. Which resort has the better pools? Well, that's a toss-up and depends on what works best for you and your family. If you have smaller kids, I'd definitely say that the Harbour Lake is a no-brainer. Next, let's talk about activities. Both of the resorts have a great list of activities. The Harbour Lake has a sand volleyball court, nice basketball courts, and a soccer field. Alongside of the soccer field are a few games including cornhole, oversized checkers, and ring toss. And Key Lime Greens is the resort miniature golf course. There's also a recreation station with table-style games including ping pong, pool, and foosball. There's also a playground, and of course the Marriott Harbour Lake has a decent fitness center. Similarly, the Marriott Cypress Harbour has a fitness center, which I think is a tad bit nicer, and here the gym is accompanied by a spa. The Marriott Cypress Harbour also has a splash pad, miniature golf, ping pong, pool, multiple playgrounds, sand volleyball, and a basketball court. However, the Cypress Harbour also has tennis, pickleball, shuffleboard, Surrey bike rentals, a flower garden, a nature walk, and an arcade/game room. The Cypress Harbour also offers a variety of boat rental options, including paddle and electric boats. They also offer fishing gear rentals, or you can always catch a ride on the pontoon shuttle to cross the property. There is absolutely so much to do here, and the Cypress Harbour clearly gets the nod for activities. Next, we gotta discuss dining. At the Marriott Harbour Lake, the patio is it. It's pretty much your one-stop shop for everything, including coffee, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's also your bar. There's also the Outpost, but it's really just a small selection of drinks and snacks, and not really enough options for a meal. Now, let's talk about the Cypress Harbour, and we're gonna start with the Pavilion Bar and Grill. The Pavilion Bar and Grill is a full-service bar and has a complete menu. The bar has both outdoor poolside service as well as indoor service, and you can also order food online or directly from the grill window. There's both indoor and outdoor seating available. Adjacent from the pavilion is the Marketplace. The Marketplace is your coffee shop / grab and go / souvenir shop. The Marketplace and Pavilion share a dining area that's well populated with TVs. It's nice that the Cypress Harbour does have an actual bar where adults can sit and chill or congregate, something that doesn't really exist at the Harbour Lake. The nod for dining goes to the Marriott Cypress Harbour. Which one of these resorts is better? This brings me to that point of irony I mentioned in the beginning. I think which resort is better truly depends on you and your family. Groups of any makeup can have a great time at either resort, but I really believe that families with young kids will truly thrive at the Marriott Harbour Lake, whereas I feel that families with older kids or adult groups will do better at the Marriott Cypress Harbour. But it's ironic that the Marriott Cypress Harbour has the less desirable sleeping situation for adults, older kids, or multiple families. This is kind of a bummer, but most certainly isn't a deal breaker. And I think that the resort offers so much beyond a quirky second bedroom sleeping situation. And since I don't cop out in any of these videos, And so I'll answer the question. If I absolutely just had to choose one resort, which would it be? It would be the Marriott Cypress Harbor. I hope that this video was helpful. Thanks for rocking with me to this point, and until the next one, fitness and beer.